Okay, I know, like, in the war arc, it was a super dangerous situation, so, like, I kind of let it slide. I didn't bat an eye at it because, he was a massive threat. But Momo, stop drugging people. Before I begin this review of chapter 320 of My Hero Academia, please do me a favor and leave your own thoughts on the chapter in the comment section down below. Leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, make sure you hit that little notification bell so you don't miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Now, let's get into it. What's up, guys? I got the pencil here, and here we are to review chapter 320 of My Hero Academia. And it is known as Deku versus Class 1A, aka Deku still somehow watches Class 1A, huh? I had faith in y'all. What happened? Okay, regardless of that, let's hop right into it. Actually, before we hop into it, shout out to this color page. Like, golly, like, not usually, I know Horikoshi is an amazing artist, but like, geez, the different shading and coloring, bro, I can tell you put way too much time in it. No, I'm kidding. But he did a fantastic job with it. Like, the different fadings through the background represent the different parts of the sky, the different colors on the flowers, everything in this picture is fire. I'm not gonna lie. Only thing is, though, that I just noticed while looking at it, like, is she licking up her tears? Like, I'm not sure if that's the case. I think that it may just be like detail highlights, but that's a really weird place to put a highlight. I guess it's supposed to be a raindrop, but like, it's like so perfectly placed, or imperfectly placed, I guess, that looks like she's literally licking up her tear. But enough of that. Let's actually hop into the chapter itself. And sadly enough, like, we open up with Ida. And I know, like, this is technically the words right beneath him is what we're supposed to be focusing on. That's his thought process. I know that once you set your mind on something, you never stop. But gosh darn it, Ida, I need you to do something in this chapter. Like, actually help out. But to be fair, I understand why he didn't. Because this chapter was essentially the nobodies, plus Todoroki for some reason. But we'll get into that. So we see that Ida has completely acknowledged the fact that Midoriya is not going to slow down. And Bakugo is like, I guess Bakugo got the full rundown from Endeavor, like the whole class did, because they all know about it. And the way, I love how Bakugo's still in that menace mentality. He's like, come on now, you look like a completely different person. What happened, bruh? And Midoriya is like, alright, I'd like to thank you all for coming. Deuces. He instantly hit the smoke screen. Like, I joked about it in last week's video. Wait, no, not last week's video. I think last week's comment section, like, yo, what if Midoriya just drops a smoke screen and dips? And like, he did instantaneously. Man had the fastest idea. Went smoke screen, gone. And Bakugo does something weird. Like, he blows up the entire ground, and somehow it doesn't destroy anything drastic. Like, the tile underneath him is still perfectly fine. Like, he just made a gigantic wind explosion, but to do that, wouldn't he, like, have to clap his hands together, not just slam the ground? I'm not exactly sure how that one works, and I'm not exactly sure how, I guess Midoriya instantly shut off Smokescreen after he made a really big one, because reasonably, Smokescreen shouldn't have stopped just because some of it was pushed away. Midoriya himself releases the smoke, so, I mean, unless, I guess the blast may be so powerful, like, the smoke just stop. No, but in that shot of him, he's like not covered in smoke anymore, so he probably just shut smoke screen off instantaneously because he is running on low energy. But then I love, once again, Bakugo is just great in these past two chapters. Like, he's sticking to his character development while keeping his characterization, because he's literally like, wow, you really didn't tell us nothing. He left y'all whole letters. Like, he told you everything. He literally told you about One for All. He told you everything you needed to know that was important, that he knew at the time, whatever. But then I'm glad how Bakugo acknowledges the fact that he's the secondary main character, not the first main character, because he says he and everyone else look like extras to Midoriya now, because they are. They're just extra fodder, and we can see that all throughout this chapter. Because while Midoriya does get jumped by Pigeon Gang, Pigeon Gang up in these streets, call, the Koda is like, yo, you can, and I talked about this last chapter, how I don't think this chapter is going to have much emotional impact on certain levels with certain characters, because not every character has really interacted with Midoriya to a degree that actually feels emotionally investing. So I was afraid of that, and you can see it as early on as the first person who, like, tries to call and bring Midoriya back personally. Like, Koda just yells, you can come back. Nezu said you can. And that's it, because the two have never really interacted before. And once again, that's not Horikoshi's fault. It's just that it just doesn't hit as much. But I get why. Like, the reason Horikoshi sort of like stacked the chapter as he did this way is to get out a lot of these like lesser impactful ones. In fact, I could see this fight going on for like a chapter or maybe 2 chapters more, because I'm assuming Bakugo has to get a moment, I'm assuming Uraraka has to get a moment, I'm assuming Ida has to get a moment, I'm assuming that who else? I feel like Todoroki has to get a moment. I know he had his towards the end of the chapter. We're going to talk about that. Like, there's so many little things in this chapter that I'm like, whatever. But I'm still happy to see that Koda's actually getting used. Like, the pigeons are listening to him. They're all like swarming Midoriya though. Like, this is a death match. Like, if Midoriya swung a little bit too hard, them pigeons are dead. Koji. Wait, his name is Koji Koda, isn't it? One second. Yeah, it is. My brain was right, but it was right, but it was wrong, because I thought those were two completely different characters. But I think I'm just mixing up characters in my head. But we get to see that Midoriya's like, okay, that's cool and all. Does his second come back? Nice, great, cool. Sorry, bro, I gots to go though. And he fires Black Whip off backwards, and I guess maybe he was heading in that direction. Yeah, I think he was heading in that direction anyway. So he may have like pre-known where to fire Black Whip. Because Midoriya, what if you just missed the building, dog? And like, bro, you latched onto the very corner of that building. You easily could have missed. But I guess that's just like danger sense / Midoriya's spatial awareness, which he has a lot of good spatial awareness. So I guess it makes sense. He did have that training for that. So that's kind of cool. And he probably like stalled himself with float in midair in order to aim. But then Sero comes out the clutch and he says that, like, I love Sero's moment here, because while he does have only that one little interaction with Midoriya, which was their little training session that we got like 5 seconds of in the war arc, it still is cool to see that the master of it is able to stop the protege. Like, Sero has been used to using his tape like Midoriya uses Black Whip since forever, so the fact that he can intercept it is really, really cool. Even though I don't think, especially considering how strong Midoriya is shown to be, I have no idea how Sero got up here either. Did someone throw him? I think... Oh, Sato may have thrown him. But I was about to say, I don't know how Sero got that high. Maybe he just, like, he could have Spider-Man up a wall, too. But the thing is, I don't think Black Whip should be weak enough to be constrained by Sero. Like, Sero, you're a cool dude, man, but Black Whip should, like, scale to at least some of Midoriya's strength. Like, it's still 1 for all, which is extremely powerful. Like, 45%. But, hey, maybe that's just a Sero feat right there, being able to crumple Black Whip. And then Jiro just goes in for the murder. Can we talk about that? Well, it's not murder. But she goes in, and like, she uses heartbeat wall, and shouldn't that like cause internal damage or something like that? I'm not sure how sound attacks work, but I'm pretty sure every time she's used this attack before, it's like shattered the ground or something like that. And she's using the speakers too. Like, maybe she's holding back a little bit, but golly, when I saw that, I'm like, are you trying to kill the man? I guess knock him out. But then we get to see that Midoriya, after getting stopped by Sero, is like, bro, y'all realize I can literally just fly, right? And he just goes off in a different direction. And I thought he said he didn't have the Air Force gloves, so I'm not exactly sure how he redirected himself. Oh, wait, no. He's probably using Fajin. Yeah, he's probably using Fajin here. So that's how he managed to, like, get the little boost so he can redirect. I think he can use it like that. I know he said, a few chapters ago, he said he can't use Air Force because he doesn't have the gloves with him. He can't flick himself like that. But maybe that was just, like, the offensive version. He can maneuver himself in midair with the more, like, defensive version. And I think it's cool that Jiro has, like, at least something with Midoriya. It was a little notes thing, and to be fair, I don't remember that, but whatever. We get the flashback panel. That's really, really neat. I'm happy to have it. And the thing is, Ojiro instantly comes out the clutch. Like, Midoriya dodges. I have no real idea how these people are keeping up with Midoriya. Like, Midoriya is leaping building from building, but all these people, despite being right in front of him not 20 seconds ago, have managed to hop around. But I guess they know, and I guess Sato is like being the ultimate support man right now and just yeeting people everywhere. But then we get to see that Ojiro's like, and nearly this is like the thing I hate Ojiro's character the most for, because I feel like it was his only moment of possible character. I mean, like, I get why, because of like a whole martial art honor thing, but him giving up and not going into the tournament was one of the dumbest things for me. But at least this comes to a good character moment where Ojiro's like, yeah, I'll never forget that one time I was a character and you took my spot and let me be, and was angry in my place when you fought Shinso. That was really, really cool. And I love how Midoriya's like, yo, let me level with y'all real quick. All for One is going to take me away. So if I'm around y'all, y'all all gonna die. That's why I dipped. I already told y'all this in the letter, and if y'all don't let me go and leave, I'm beating y'all. And like, the thing is, like, Midoriya should be FODDER right now. Like, I saw all the memes, everything. Everyone was going dumb. Like, everyone was assuming Midoriya was going to Omni-Man, Superman versus Batman, like some next level throwing people through buildings, like on the murder type beat. And to be fair, I didn't think Midoriya was gonna do that, but I thought 1A was gonna watch Midoriya. The dude literally collapsed not 2 chapters ago. He wasn't even fighting anybody. He just fell to his knees dead tired. Did he take like a power nap? How this dude gets so strong so fast and so agile so quickly? Like, I know the adrenaline is wild with this man, but dude hasn't eaten, dude hasn't slept, dude hasn't drank any actually, he could have been drinking the rain. But the thing is, this dude is going dumb. Like, he casually breaks apart Ojiro's tail, and doesn't even look like, notably in this shot, it does not even look like he has full cowling activated. It looks like he literally just took Ojiro's tail, which is pure muscle, by the way, and just it right off, and then proceed to leave. And then Tokuyami, like, I love how Class 1A is comboing into each other. Even if it does seem a bit weird, I love how Tokuyami, the moment Deku breaks free, he's like, nah, B, and instantly shotgun missiles this man through a building deep into, like, these guys are straight up trying to knock Midoriya, like, they are brutalizing him. I guess they just don't care. Just to be fair, they have no option but to brutalize him. But, like, Tokuyami slams Midoriya into a building through glass windows with dark shadow. They do not care about this man. They do not care. And the thing is, we see Sato, and this is where I get the assumption that he's like throwing people everywhere, because he's hopping through the air. He caught Jiro. He just managed to grab Ojiro. Like, he's doing good. And the thing is, like, they're yelling to Midoriya in this building they just slammed him through. I know this is a shonen manga, and this is how you express emotions. You'll beat the life out of each other. But to be fair, like, golly, they were being so violent with Midoriya here. And once again, we have another moment where it's like, weak character, but it's fine. Like, all that, it's weird. Koda acts as like, not Koda, Sato acts as like an interaction, or like a combining link between Eri and Midoriya, since Eri can't be there herself. That's what Sato's role is. Like, to be fair, I don't even remember him lending the food coloring for the candy apples. I thought that was just at the sports festival. Maybe he did, so let's go with that. Thing is, that's just like him taking care of Eri. And Midoriya, like, I'm sorry, man, he spit some facts here, like when he's like, Eri-chan doesn't need it from me specifically. Like, Midoriya basically says, I am not ready to be a father. We are not doing this today. And I don't know. That one was so funny to me, because he's like, come on now. Like, that's not my daughter. Y'all can make her some candy apples if y'all really feel like it. And, like, Midoriya is, like, sitting back, taking a chill. And, Momo just tries to drug him. And, like, the reason I know it's drugs and not just, like, a containment unit is that it has, like, the two bottle things that she used to, like, knock out Gigantomachia, or at least it's a very similar design. That doesn't look like a, here, go ahead, take a nap. That seems like a, here, you're going to sleep now. And I kind of get it. And, like, Momo is, once again, I know Momo had no interaction with Midoriya up to this point, so I shouldn't expect anything emotionally from her. But, like, she's just talking so matter-of-fact and strict. And, like, she brings up, like, the Endeavor Agency allowed them to use their quirks, but aren't y'all here? I guess, they're working under the Endeavor Agency, like, so this is their mission, so they're allowed to use quirks with their provisionary licenses. Okay, but Momo, I don't think they gave you permission to drug him. That one threw me off. I'm not gonna lie, I was, like, fine with it in the war arc, because Gigantomachia was killing people, so you had to stop him. But Midoriya, like, you're gonna instantly drug the man? Is that legal? Is that what we're rocking with? Like, I know and to be fair, I think no, Momo even described it in the war arc as an illegal substance. So, seems a bit sus, Momo, I'm not gonna lie. That seems a little bit shady. I don't like how comfortable you've gotten with drugging people when it was a big thing in the past. But, hey, whatever. And I love how Midoriya just instantly breaks through it. And, like, he's literally just telling these people, yo, if you can do me a favor and just leave me be. Like, I know he says stop caring about me, but he's really just like, could you leave me alone? And then another character who has no interaction with Midoriya. I love, the weird thing is, like, I think Horikoshi knows the fact that he made, like, half a Class 1A have no interaction with his main character, or interactions that were so quick and minuscule that the audience wouldn't even remember them. But the fact that he literally just has Kaminari say, we have no hobbies in common. But you're still my friend, though. Like, it's okay. You just didn't have to let Kaminari say anything. So, I don't know why. This finds me, that one just made me laugh, where it's like, Kaminari doesn't even do anything notably. Like, he just grabs Midoriya around the shoulder and, like, pats him on the back. He's like, yo, chill out, buddy. And that's it. Like, he doesn't electrocute him or anything like that, but I guess not. But then again, Jiro tried to straight up sound this man. Momo literally just got through trying to drug him. Like, it's just kind of sad. But then we get to see that Shoji comes out the clutch with insulation tape. He's using, like, weird, I don't know how he's doing this. I guess he's just making more arm. But Midoriya apparently says something to Shoji like, if it's with these people, even All Might seems no longer scary. I guess he said that sometime. Like, usually Horikoshi has flashback panels whenever he's quoting something specifically, but he didn't have it. Once again, this is a very tightly packed chapter, because Horikoshi is a very, once again, quick-paced writing. So I'm not shocked that we don't get a flashback panel. But it kind of like, a lot of this stuff is being said, and I don't exactly remember it. But once again, I've only read these arcs like once or twice or like 3 times before. I've only read through My Hero Academia completely like twice. And then I've gone back and reread some arcs whenever I want to go do a critique on them. So that's the thing. I'm not surprised that I don't remember it, but I'm just going to assume they happen. And then we get to see that Midoriya allowed himself to get like captured. Well, nah, he didn't allow himself. First he got wrapped up in insulation tape. Then that young boy Tokuyami came up the clutch again and instantly wrapped Midoriya up in that nice little coffin, a nice little cocoon. He calls it Ragnarok womb, and like that, like isn't the womb like the place where you have baby and like give birth? So why would did you expect Midoriya to break out of the womb or something like that? Like, that's just seemed weird to me. But I'm glad Tokuyami, in my opinion, has like the most emotional one in this chapter, because this is something that was this happened and I remember it clearly. I remember when Tokuyami was told by Midoriya to use Dark Shadow defensively and offensively, and I think that is cool. I love that this moment, something that affected Tokuyami drastically, led to his different fighting style, allowed him to learn how to fly. Like, there are so many little moments that build off that one moment with Midoriya that I really like it that it was brought up here. This is the one that actually hit for me based on all the people talking to Midoriya about how much they care. And I love how, like, they're all like, bro, no, not they're all like, Kaminari is like, first off, take a bath. Like, I know this is meant to be like an emotional moment. Like, you can tell by the look in Kaminari's face. Like, he's holding Midoriya tight, like, please, calm down, man. But no, like, in my mind, Kaminari said take a bath because Midoriya smells awful right now. Bro hasn't washed that costume or himself in days, bro. Just been in the rain. But then we get to see Midoriya's like, yo, if you don't just let me be, instantly snaps free of not just the insulation tape, not just Kaminari, but also Dark Shadow Ragnarok, all 3 of it, bam. And once again, Midoriya is fatigued and at 45%, I'm pretty sure. I don't think, maybe he had some Fodgen built up, but regardless of that, man class 1A's fodder. And like, this is what I was afraid of, but this is what I expected too. So even Tokuyami shot like, darn, he really broke free from Ragnarok. And the thing is, you see Midoriya's face. The mask has come off. And he's literally breaking down in tears, bro. He's in pain. He's screaming, I'm fine. Trust me. Let me be. I just want to do it. I want to save y'all because you're going to be in hurt if I'm there. Please, let me be a hero. And then, like, yo, like I said, once again, these people have no care for what they're doing to Midoriya. They're drugging him, slamming him through buildings. Todoroki just smacked this man dead into an ice wall. Like, legitimately, I know there was no other way to stop Midoriya from escaping, but Midoriya literally slams what looks like head first into an ice wall. And the thing is, Todoroki doesn't say anything like impactful. Like, he says, oh, let us share your burden. But like, bro, didn't your whole character arc happen because of this dude? Like, you could have given him a little bit of acknowledgement, which is why I hope he gets more to say next chapter. Or like the chapter after that, or something like that. Then we see Asui come out the clutch, and we get to see that I won't cry like last time. I won't be fodder anymore. You're important. When scared, you're allowed to tremble. I'm not going to keep reading the chapter. But essentially what Asui says is, yeah, we're beating you up right now, but we're not actually just going to bring you back to UA and just have you sit there. We're just going to help you out. I think that's cool. I guess that's the happy medium between them, like, helping Midoriya rest and recover and letting Midoriya still do his job. Like, they're all going to be out in the world helping him out. They're all going to be helping him take down the villains. They're all going to be helping him out when taking down All For One, which is very, very cool. Y'all all fodder, though. Like, this chapter literally just defines it. Y'all all fought. Well, to be fair, Todoroki wasn't fodder. He hard stopped. Like, in terms of hard negging stuff, yo, that heaven piercing ice wall was taller than the buildings, which makes sense. But, like, I know now I think about it, it was bigger than the stadium, but was it really this tall? Like, these are, well, maybe not skyscrapers, but these are like multi-story buildings. Like, golly, Todoroki, you really got swole, my boy. But that's it. That's the end of the chapter. And it's pretty cool. I actually really do like this chapter a lot. Once again, while it does seem a little bit violent on the Midoriya end, like they are really bullying this man into submission, it makes sense. It's the only way to stop him, really. Like, I joke around about Momo drugging him, though that still catches me a little bit off guard. I joke around about Tokuyami slamming him through a building, like Jiro trying to shatter my man's eardrums. But to be fair, this is the only way to stop him. You gotta, like, completely tire him out and essentially drag his lifeless body back to UA, because the boy ain't stopping, essentially. That's what they've realized, and I'm glad they know that. However, for the emotional impact of this chapter, it kind of hit. But once again, it's the well, I almost said catch 50, the catch 22 of My Hero Academia, due to the extremely fast pacing and due to the lack of time that we've had with these characters, due to the fact that we have to develop other characters that are not even in Class 1A. The emotional impact, at least in terms of tying into our main character, cannot be there because there just hasn't been enough time for it to be there. That's why you have characters like your Todorokis and your Tokuyamis who have had big impactful moments with Midoriya, and while Todoroki's doesn't get addressed, it's implied, and while Tokuyami's is flat out stated, that's very, very good. You do have those two, but then you have your Momos. Then you have your Kaminaris. Then you have your Kodas. Even you have your Satos. Like, you have these characters who have been in the same class as Midoriya, have interacted with them before, but simply don't have the exposure to the character and don't have the time interaction with the character that this chapter hits emotionally. And even some of the points where it was trying to do good, like with the Shoji, it didn't hit for me just because I don't remember him saying that. But I do remember their interaction. Once again, it's the 50-50. Like, you gotta take some and leave some, which is why I'm still fine with this chapter on a whole front. And I will admit, this chapter is smacking art-wise. On occasion, I can tell, this is gonna sound bad, Horikoshi does need a break. You can tell the dude's getting a bit tired. And I'm not saying this in that the art detail is lacked, but you can tell there's some less solid line work. That's a weird thing though. It's in some panels, but you can see he reused some panels. He's definitely tired, but at the same time, no, I think that's a new panel. Like, no, I'm wondering. Cause like, I can see there's still insane amounts of detail in this art. I like the shaping. I love how he's squash and stretching the character designs like in animation, like you should do. So actually, no, I'll take that back. His art is still looking great. It's just like in some of the times when I zoom in, I can see certain details like the inconsistency with some of the line art and stuff like that. But that's just me over analyzing this stuff. And honestly, it still kind of fits the motif of the arc, considering this is supposed to be a much more rough arc in of itself. Like, this is definitely supposed to be a less clean cut, this is very grit and rough to the bone kind of art. So I still actually, never mind, I take back all criticism of the art. It works out, especially for the themes of this art. However, still let Horikoshi take a break. My man's dumb tired. I can tell. He's going dummy with these chapters though. So honestly, how would I rate this chapter? Do I want to give it a 10 out of 10? I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. If only for the fact that, once again, emotionally, I get the narrative purpose behind this chapter. And I completely understand it. But once again, I am reviewing it, and I feel like my input does matter just a bit. So on a sheer narrative level, the chapter gets a 10 out of 10. It does its job exactly what it does. It gets out a lot of the characters that have no emotional connection to Midoriya at all, and ones you can't really think of, except for like your Minetas, your Ashidos, your who else? There are a couple characters left that don't really have much interaction with Midoriya. One second. Actually, I could see Kirishima having a good moment with Midoriya, but then you have the main ones I say you won't get much out of are like Hagakure, Mineta, and probably Ashido. But then again, you could do Ashido's whole thing in the sports festival. I know those two tonked, and Midoriya just stole some of her abilities, like breakdancing abilities for his fighting style. So that could work out. I could see, like, I don't know what him and Mineta relate on. They like never interact. Same with Hagakure. But still, that's fine. We're probably gonna get the big hitters next chapter. Like, I could see Aoyama having a big moment. I could see Ida having a big moment. I could see Uraraka having a big moment. I hope Todoroki gets a moment, because golly, that was a weak one that he got this chapter. But I could definitely see Bakugo getting a moment. And to be fair, you could argue Bakugo's moment was at the beginning of this chapter. But nah, I still say he has a little bit more left in the tank. So yeah, this was still a super solid chapter. Amazing art-wise. Ignore my weird criticism. But outside of that, yeah, this was sort of a intermediary chapter. Like, a lot of my thoughts from last week say the same. Like, I still hope the fight gets interrupted. I mean, if they keep beating down Midoriya and they drag him back, let him heal up, and they all go back out into the world, that's cool. I'm glad to see all of 1A working together. If someone interrupts it and kidnaps Midoriya, then I'm perfectly fine with that too. I think that's great. I would love to see Midoriya still be forced into this situation, but then say he's forced to heal. Like, after 1A just beats the life out of him, he's really down bad, down atrocious, and then Stain comes in and says, "Whoa, Sonny, you gotta come with me now," and then he runs off into the distance with Midoriya. I think that'd be cool. If the whole All Might situation, wherever he is, that's the pressing threat. Like, a lot of the stuff from last chapter hasn't changed. I still hope a lot of stuff happens with other villains. I hope Midoriya just doesn't go back, or at least doesn't go back in the traditional way. Like, if they knock Midoriya out, take him back, heal him up, and they all go back out into the world, perfectly fine. That means while the Midoriya alone arc isn't over, it does mean we still have some more Midoriya out in the real world, and we still have more of the My Hero, less of the Academia, which I'm fine with. However, at the same time, Kind of don't even want that. Kind of want Midoriya to keep suffering, but that's just me. That's just me. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about this chapter? How would y'all rate it? I still give this chapter, like I said, 9 out of 10 for me personally. Maybe an 8 now that I'm thinking about it because of how little, but a 9 out of 10 for like the lack of emotional impact and investment. But once again, I know that's not Horikoshi's fault, so narratively, I give this chapter a 10 out of 10 in terms of its function because it fills its job perfectly, tiring out Midoriya even more and showing off Class 1A's development and strength and abilities. I think that's all great. But what do you guys think? I'm super intrigued to hear about this chapter in particular, considering it's very much an intermediary chapter. I'm super interested to hear what you guys have to think. Please tell me in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is that guy with the pencil, writing off.